I noticed one thing at your live concert at the Jazz Fest, other than your music, was you were really good at the banter in between songs. And I've talked to artists on this podcast
Yeah.
before, and some guys say they struggle with it in
Right.
between songs. They don't know what to bring up. They don't know how to adjust to the next song.
Right.
And I thought you were a master at it. You were cracking jokes. You were making fun of exits on the highway. Like, I see someone from Exit 7 here stop at Sobeys for me. Like, man, this guy's a comedian. Has that always been
Larry
a natural
Utek
thing?
Boulevard.
Yeah, that's what you said. You said something about Larry Utek.
Love that exit.
And like when I said in the intro before you got here, I was
Yeah.
like, man, this guy was able to connect with everyone in the crowd. I don't know how many
Yeah.
people were there. It was a good amount of people.
Yeah.
But like you connected to me, all my buddies, my girlfriend. You're like, man, like we went home and all YouTubed you and did our research on you just because you connected to people outside of your music, just when you were actually just talking, just being a
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, it wasn't always like that. I definitely, like the early part of my career, it was, just through inexperience, basically. You're nervous. You're thinking about all that sort of thing. You're thinking, geez, like, what should I say? What should I do? And it's one of those things where when you stop thinking about it,
It comes. Yeah.
it comes.
Yeah.
You stop working at it. It's just like anything else. I really like fly fishing, right? And when you're casting the rod, if you're overthinking the mechanics of what you're doing,
Yeah.
and the line's going all over the place, it's when you actually stop thinking and then you just cast it beautifully. Just everything feels natural. And I think so much of life is like that. And certainly for me, playing shows and engaging with the audience, you realize it's like, if you don't want to say anything, you don't say anything. And if you have something to say, say it. It's not any more complicated than that. You know what I mean? Like I really don't, I don't put any effort into it other than try and be present in the moment. And that's, that people say it all the time. It's almost a cliche at this point, but just be aware of what's happening. Look around. Who's at the show? What are they doing? Are they paying attention? Sometimes people are standing in the front row and they're facing the other way, talking to their friends or on their phone or something. That's a great opportunity for me to say, hey, what's going on?
You're like a comedian.
You paid money to come in here and you're going to turn around and turn your back to me? I remember there was this one guy. I played at the Vancouver Folk Festival years ago. And, the folk festivals are interesting because there's so many different bands playing throughout the day.
Okay.
So sometimes what people will do is they want to set up their seat to have the best seat in the house for when the artist that they want is playing, right?
Okay.
So they'll go in the morning and put a lawn chair down, but the artist that they want to see might not be playing till 8 p.m., right?
Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Right? So there's all kinds of different shows happening throughout the day. So I remember I was playing this one show and I looked down. There's a guy in the front row and he was reading Wine Spectator magazine. And at first I took it personal. I was like, geez, man, like I flew all the way out here. I've got these songs. I've made, worked on these record and got this show going. And there's this guy just reading Wine Spectator magazine, and I'm thinking all this stuff as I'm playing. And then at some point he just sort of puts the magazine down. He's just moving his head and he's kind of grooving on the tunes. And then he looks up again. He's reading about his Barolos and things. But anyway, it just sort of dawned on me. It's like, I don't need everybody to engage with my music in one way. You know what I mean? Like he's there. He's experiencing the music. That's good enough for me.
Okay.
It's silly for me to take that personal. I don't need everybody rocking in the exact same way to satisfy my ego or whatever. I mean, the guy paid money to be there. He can read Wine Spectator or Sports Illustrated or whatever he wants to do, But the cool thing is that he was sitting there and listening to the music. So I don't know. It's just something that you learn over time, I don't know that there's any shortcut to it. I think it is easier when you are familiar with a place. And, I think just now that I live here and being able to reference Exit 7 or Larry Utek or something like that, it's funny, right? Because someone in the crowd is like, I use Exit 7
Yeah,
every
exactly.
day, right?
That's what I mean. Like, this guy knows where I live. Larry
Right.
Utek, that's how it works.
It's that sort of stuff is just an easy joke and just a way to connect with people for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's in some cases like it goes so far where I almost think, geez, I'm almost like I'm spending more time cracking jokes than I am playing music, But it's never really a bad thing,
Oh, it's a great thing. I think.
Yeah.